hope you enjoyed the topic, a good Nigeria we never had.
Now sit back, relax, and prepare for the next topic, the need to protect the children and the vulnerable in our society.
Thank you.
Hello parents and viewers. You're welcome to the talk show segment of Our Young Children Forum program. Today we shall be looking at the need to protect the children and the vulnerable in our societies. I've got some renowned men and women to discuss this issue. From my extreme left, I have Chief Ekweariri Dube.
I am Chief Ekweariri Dube. I am 9 years old. I am in primary 4. Good afternoon, moderator and audience. It's my pleasure to be here.
Sitting next to him is Architect Jidofo Kosi.
I'm Architect Kosi Jidofo. I'm 8 years old and I am primary 3. Thank you and welcome viewers.
And from the right, we have Professor Stella Maris.
I am Professor Stella Maris. I am 9 years old. I'm in primary 5. Welcome audience.
Also, in our discussion today is Reverend Father Akpanchi Simdi.
I am Reverend Father Akpanchi Simdi. I am 12 years old. I am in GS3. Thank you and my pleasure to be here.
May I welcome Honorable Adugo Diala.
I am Honorable Adugo Diala. I am 10 years old. I am in GS1. Moderator, thanks for your coming in.
And the last but not the least is Dr. Jafome Soma. We are glad to have you on this program.
I'm Dr. Jafome Soma. I'm 9 years old. I'm in primary 5. Thank you, my chairperson.
My name is Bara Ubuni. I'm 11 years old and I'm in primary 6. Thank you for joining us. Chief Ekweariri Dube, tell us what you understand by being vulnerable in a society.
Thank you, moderator. Being exposed to danger in a society is a state where people, organization, society are seen weak and without protection, with the result that they are easily hurt, physically and emotionally. Again, not only individuals are affected as animals and plants can be said to be vulnerable to certain diseases if they have tendencies to be affected than others. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Ekweariri Dube, and having defined the meaning of vulnerability, we describe the state of being harmed physically and psychologically. Now, Architect Jidofo Kosi, how can you differentiate the vulnerable from the physically and mentally challenged in our society?
Thank you, moderator. Societal vulnerability does not only have to do with the physically and mentally challenged societies. Rather, it goes to involve the children and the youth. Many children are today undergoing some horrible conditions from their parents and guidance, especially those from the less privileged background. Thank you.
Thank you, Architect Jidofo Kosi, for doing justice to that question. Please, Professor Stella Maris Ladipo, what are those hardships faced by these vulnerable children?
Thank you, moderator. Our society has gone evil indeed. Today, many highly placed personalities go to rural areas to bring children with a promise, only to come to urban centers to use them as slaves. Some are sent out to hawk on the street, and in this process, these children are faced with many dangers like accidents and molestation. An extreme case is the use of these young children for money making and sometimes prostitution, during which many are exposed to diseases like HIV and other sexual transmitted diseases. Thank you, my moderator.
Thank you, Professor Stella. Reverend Father Akpanchi Simdi, in what way do you think we can protect these vulnerable in our society, especially the children?
Thank you, moderator, for this opportunity to air my view on this critical issue as it affects our society. Character formation is a training scheme for children, and this helps to prepare good and useful members of the future society. Our society is today evil because laws are maneuvered by those who can have their ways, using stolen and ill-gotten wealth. We cannot have a better society if people commit crime and go scot-free. Our society can only become good if people are made to face the wrath of the law whenever they commit a crime. By this, no one will venture to put any child at risk for any reason. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Father Akpanchi Simdi. Honorable Adugo Diala, what are those conducts that can be considered as crime if committed by any member of the society?
Thank you, moderator. The act of a normal person having carnal affairs with a man and defenseless woman is considered criminal, both to human-made laws and to God's standard.
No reason can be excusable for this atrocious act. Taking children out to urban centers for commercial purposes of prostitution is evil. In fact, that is child trafficking. Converting physical challenged and mentally unhealthy people for alms begging is also a crime and atrocious too. These crimes are numerous, and as the Reverend Father has said, the key thing to combat this is to ensure that those who perpetrate this act are brought to book to serve as deterrent to others, and the adoption of early moral upbringing and sound social training to children is paramount.
Thank you, Honorable Aduku Diala. Your contribution was wonderful. Dr. Jofomesoma, if I may ask you, if the physically challenged people are mentally okay, do they actually need much protection?
Actually, they don't need much protection, in the sense that when I read about Nick Vujicic, who was born and raised in Melbourne, Australia, 30 years ago, with no arms and no legs, but he has this to say: I won't pretend my life is easy, but through love of my parents, loved ones and faith in God, I have overcome my adversity, and my life is now filled with joy and purpose. With this, I would say that physically challenged are not vulnerable, because God does not make mistakes. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jofomesoma, for this eye-opening insight. Chief Okorochi Dubem, having been listening for a while now, do you have any reaction to make on this?
My moderator, Dr. here has awakened the life of that young man, Nick, in me because I know him. Here is Nick without arms and legs, yet he developed himself, making a surprisingly touring nations, encouraging the able-bodied to make something out of their life. But take a walk when your neighbor will do tea by Joshua. You must come across one or two disabled begging for help. Most times at a water market, being led by a family member or even someone who makes money out of their condition. This condition is annoying.
Please, Chief Okoro, please do not be annoyed. This is Nigeria for you. But architect, do you have any contribution to make on this bill?
Moderator, who does not know Nivujisi, though he has no legs and hands, but I traveled far and wide, spoken to millions of people, motivating and reassuring them of God's loving kindness towards them, even in their circumstances. He graduated with double degree in financial management and accounting. He trades on stocks and is into estate management, but his passion in sales is motivating people. What a twist of destiny! A disabled, who in our normal world ought to be carried in a wheelbarrow begging for alms. He is encouraging people. In fact,
please, my respectable honorable colleagues, let the situation of the physically challenged people not trigger riot. I beg to change this topic. Please, Professor, can you shift our attention to throw more light on this terrible situation of some children?
Moderator, I don't know what else you want me to say. Can you imagine that reasonable couple, so to say, hire from the villages? The children are promised the best of education in the city, but right there in the city, the story changes. The children are asked to find one disability or the other, and then put to the streets to beg, fetching for money for their guardian. This is all just to make money or serve them in their mansions, while children are put to numerous risks. Can you imagine that?
Professor, I know you are constant kind of live and lesson. Thank you. Reverend Father Banchi Cindy, has this crime and neglect against children a socio-legal and psycho-spiritual implications?
Laws, they say, are made for man and not man for law. One is the moral and spiritual approach. The second is the political aspect, which has to do with the due enforcement of the stipulated laws of the state. Frankly speaking, the second has more practical and direct impacts on the society. The moral and spiritual aspect is essentially impactful when the need to make a better society is in view. On the other hand, the law is primarily made and duly enforced to make people live by acceptable norms while keeping all known rules and regulations. All these are important, as I explained. But care must be taken because any crime or maltreatment of these children may result to schizophrenia, absent-mindedness, daydreaming. Some may develop tough skin and took to the streets. However, Christianity has given us the rule of life as far as how to live on earth is concerned. Which one do we follow?
Father, I have always known you love children and will speak for them. Thank you. Honorable Godiala, in your own views, will Nigeria ever learn from their mistakes and change their attitudes towards children and mothers?
Everybody can learn and change, including Nigeria. The question is, have we seen any reason to change? Are we ready to change? Can there power that be allowed a change? God is ready. The people of God are ready. The poor masses are ready. The children and mothers are ready. So my moderator, you know you have the capacity to ask Mr. President this pertinent question.
Honorable, why are you putting my concept to the test? You people are closer to the power that be at FCT. Your challenges goes back to your colleagues. Anyway, thanks for your contribution. Finally, Doctor, what can you say regarding the children as concerns the health and academic sectors?
Put to short, my moderator. The government seems not to be interested in the health sector in general. How can that of the children be different? Most health and academic project begins and ends on the television. The almost ending national strike by medical doctors should explain this better. There you are, academic sector does know better. Thank you.
Good people of God, I can bet you that these renowned citizens have opened our eyes in their own little way. Where we hope to see you very soon with another wonderful package from our Dear Children Forum program. Keep being good, for our God is good always. My name is Vera Oboni, your host. God bless you.
So parents, I hope you enjoyed every single bit of today's episode.
It is at this point that we draw the curtains for today's Adrian Children program.
We hope to see you next week when we come back with more wonderful packages. Thank you and God bless.